Hi friends, it's Mrs. Tooke and I am here with you guys for our art online learning for the week. I'm excited to get to talk with you guys, kindergarten, first and second grade, because today we are doing something pretty fun. We know that this has been going on for a while and that we are all kind of, we're kind of tired, right? And that's okay. We're kind of tired of looking at the computer, and I know that like today one of my friends said that they wanted to call me to ask me a question, and I have been talking with some of my friends because I know I have a lot of friends that live by themselves and things like that, or they have really hard jobs. So I've been trying to stay in communication with them because I know they might be really lonely right now. But today I have been on the phone so much and been in so many meetings and all these things that I was like, I'm gonna have to talk to you tomorrow. And so I know that that's the case for some of us, whereas some of us, I know, some of my friends, my students in my live sessions have said, well, wait, we don't want summer to come. We want to keep doing this. So I know that everyone's kind of everywhere across the board, but either way, sometimes it's good to do something fun. So today, what we are going to do is we are going to make a puzzle, okay? So what we are doing is kind of a version of a puzzle that would be great for you guys to make right now, that you could also do later with more ideas. So this could be a good idea just for something that you can do for fun. Or I know that there have been lots of birthdays and events, Mother's Day is coming up, lots of things going on, and they could be a good gift to give someone. So it may be fun for you or for a sibling, or maybe a gift to give somebody else that you know is really helping you out right now. Maybe your parents are spending more time with you because they're getting to be home from work, or maybe you live with someone that is a nurse or someone that has to be working a lot right now and you just want to let them know that you love them and think they're special. So that could be a good idea. So today what we're doing, you can draw any kind of image you want, and I'm gonna give you two examples, okay? So one of the things that I did is abstract. Okay, but another word that I want us to talk about that we haven't before is non-objective. Okay, so we kind of have this spectrum. So there's realism, and that's when something looks pretty close to a photograph, okay? Looks pretty close to a picture, like what it looks like in real life. That's why it has the word real in it. And then going on from there is abstract. So I can draw a picture of like a vase of flowers that doesn't look like a photograph. So that means it's not realistic. It's more abstracted, but you can still tell it's a vase of flowers. So maybe if we had a vase, and obviously this isn't gonna look realistic. I'm doing this very quickly using a dry erase marker, but maybe we had a flower inside a vase right there, and let's call that realism, even though for it to be realism it would need to look like a photograph. And then for an abstracted version, maybe we did petals that are kind of like separated, and then like the stems coming down here, and there's a leaf, and then it's like this kind of, you can tell it's a vase of flowers, but it doesn't look real, okay? It's been abstracted. And then going over to non-objective. So if we look inside the word non-objective, we're gonna see another word, object. And an object is something like a pair of scissors, or a vase of flowers, or a glue stick, okay? There's lots of different things, or a puzzle piece, okay? So for it to be non-objective would mean that it's not an object, okay? It's not an object. So for something to look realistic, it would need to look like a photo of that thing. Anything that you can tell what it is, but it's not like a picture, like it's not like a photograph, would be kind of abstracted. Now that abstract can be just a little bit abstracted all the way over to something super abstracted. This is a pretty abstracted drawing of a vase of flowers, all the way over to non-objective, and that's when it's not supposed to look like anything in particular, okay? So I've done two examples, and I'm gonna show both of them to you, okay? So if I pull back my dry erase board, I have these two drawings, okay? So you can probably tell which one is the abstracted one and which one is non-objective, okay? Now this one right here is a drawing of something I'm going to tell you about in a second, and this one is my non-objective drawing. So you guys have done some pretty abstracted or non-objective things before, even if you didn't know that those were the words you were using. So with this, all I did was kind of drew a bunch of different lines and shapes that I liked and kind of a way that I wanted to arrange them. Okay, so I actually had my paper like this while I was drawing, and I just went through with a pencil and then with a marker, drawing the shapes that I wanted, and then I used different colors to draw to color in those spaces. Okay, if you are using your thinking cap and you're staying on top of your art skills, you'll recognize that I did like warm colors and through here. And then I did cool colors in the background, and then I added some darker pops of color. They're more saturated, and then lighter colors are in the background, and then I left some spaces white, okay? So you know a lot about color families, and you can see where I've used those in this picture and where I have some value range, okay? So if you want to do something non-objective, then you can totally use different shapes and lines and different things that you know to create an image like this, all right? So that's one option, and then you'd color that in using whatever kinds of coloring materials you'd like. The other one that I did, there's a new show or new movie on Netflix called The Willoughbys. I don't know that I would recommend it, and obviously if you should ask your parents before you watch any movie, then you should. But I watched this movie and I really loved the illustration. I loved how they drew the characters. And so when I was trying to decide what I wanted to make my puzzle out of, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna draw one of the Willoughby kids. So this is the sister in the Willoughby movie, just because I really liked the way that those were illustrated. So I drew her with a pencil, and then I went over it with marker, and I colored mine in with crayon. And then I added this flower in the background just because I felt like it needed something right there. And then these flowers I kind of copied from the pattern that's on her dress, and then I just colored it in blue in the background because I thought that would be a color that works well with the other colors going on in the picture. Okay, so if you don't want to do something non-objective, what I would love for you to do is practice drawing something that has to do with something you've done while you've been home. So if you've been watching a lot of shows and movies, maybe you can pick something out of a show or movie like I did. If you've been reading books, I've been reading a series of unfortunate events with some of my students, and we've been practicing drawing some of those characters just from our imagination. If you've been cooking a lot, maybe you could draw a picture of yourself cooking or your favorite meal. If you've been playing with your siblings more often than usual, maybe you could draw a picture of one of your siblings. If there's a particular toy that you like to play with, maybe draw a picture of that toy. Those are just ideas for you, but think about what you would want to have in a puzzle. And then going back to our dry erase board, if you're giving it as a gift to someone, think about things that they've been doing or things that they like. What should you draw for them? But if it's just going to be for you, then totally do whatever fun thing you would like. Now, if you just have paper, that's totally fine. You can go ahead and make your puzzle out of paper. I did mine off of just regular copy or printer paper. So right now, I want you to pause the video and go ahead and draw what image you would like to use for your puzzle. Then when you're ready, unpause. So what we're gonna do, I have taken a cereal box. I do not eat Frosted Flakes or cereal, but my husband does. So I took one of his cereal boxes and cut it up. So what we're gonna do is, if you look at a real puzzle, you would see that it's kind of thick, okay? They're not really flimsy like paper. So what we will do with the cardboard from the cereal box, and if you have a tissue box or really anything with cardboard or maybe a poster board, you could do this too. So what we're gonna do is take our puzzles and glue them onto this cardboard so that we have a thicker backing that's more like a realistic puzzle, okay? Now, the glue will adhere better. Glue is an adhesive. It would adhere better to this side, but I would love if the back of my puzzle wasn't the cereal box. So I'm gonna glue my image right here, and then it will show up on this side. So you can use whatever type of glue you want. If you only have tape at home, you can wrap tape behind and use tape on there. I'm gonna be using a glue stick. If you use liquid glue, don't use very much because that might wrinkle your paper, okay? So I'm gonna take my drawing. You can kind of see the picture. We're doing it on the back. And I'm going to add, this is a brand new glue stick, there we go. We're gonna add some glue. I love the really bright purple ones that dry clear. Okay, so I'm adding that on there, and I'm just gonna go kind of in these zigzag lines down. And then you want to do it pretty fast so the glue doesn't start to dry. Now that I've got my glue stick going, and you want to make sure that you get the edges and the inside. And then if there's parts that look like they're drying, you want to go over them again. Mine is very new and it's very firm, so it's kind of difficult to use. There we go. All right, so I've got lots of glue on mine, and now what I'm gonna do is line it up on my cereal box. I almost said cereal bowl. This isn't a cereal bowl. Okay, and then once you have it lined up, you wanna rub it, okay? So I know sometimes our kids just kind of press. You don't want to just press. You want to rub, okay? Kind of like you're giving it a massage, and that's going to help that glue really bond the paper to the cereal box. So you really want to rub it, okay? Now after that, you want to flip it over, okay? And you can kind of see I've got some pieces sticking out, and that's totally fine. But what I want you to do is kind of examine what you have laying extra coming out of your puzzle, okay? So then we're going to take a pair of scissors, and we're going to cut what is the cereal box and what is not our puzzle. So go as slow as you need to. I'm a pretty competent scissor user, so there we go. And see, I accidentally trimmed a tiny bit off. That's not the end of the world. It is okay. Well, on the outside edge at least. And then I've got tiny little pieces coming off right there. Now, if you do not have cardboard or anything like that, that's what I was saying earlier, you do not have to do this step. It's just gonna help it stay stiff, like a real puzzle, and it will help it last longer. But if you just have paper, that's totally okay. You can just skip the current step that I'm on. Now, if you take a look, you can see that my corners are kind of coming up, okay? So I'm gonna take my glue stick again, and I want to go just on that corner piece and put it right there. The corners are harder to get to when you're gluing. If you're gluing on, I'm just gluing on my dining room table, and I didn't want to get glue on my table. You probably don't want to get glue on your table at home either. So it's harder to get glue on those corners when you're just adhering it the first time. So I just do that, give it a little wiggle. There we go. Okay, now I have my whole picture glued to my cardboard, okay? Now, for this example, I'm going to do one with the cardboard, okay? And I'm gonna do one without, all right? So this way, you're totally gonna be fine. So you can see this version if you need this version if you need this version. But honestly, they're pretty much similar. So a normal puzzle would have this kind of shape of piece, okay? But we are not really going to do that because especially our kinder friends, you know, that just might make your life way more difficult than it needs to be. But first, we're gonna look at some puzzle pieces, okay? Because I wanna talk about some of these things. So notice, I just want you to think about these things when you're cutting and also when you're coloring if you haven't done that yet, okay? I know realistically many of you don't pause at the beginning. So if we take a look, this is a puzzle that me and my husband have been working on this entire time that we have been home. Now, if you look at these parts right in here, it is pretty complicated when you have a 1,000 piece puzzle. If you look at these, they're like all dark and have all these colors on them. And y'all, this puzzle is so hard. We've been working on it for weeks and we still don't have it finished because of all of these pieces right here. Another part of the puzzle that was really hard was all of these pieces that are this color. So we have like hundreds of pieces that are already in the puzzle at this point that are the same color. That is so hard to figure out how they fit together because there's so many of them and they're so tiny. So when you're making your puzzle, you want to think about, okay, how can I plan my puzzle so that it's easy to coordinate the pieces together? You don't want to be too easy, but you don't want it to be too hard either. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a simple box shape for our puzzle so that we can put the pieces together, take them apart, and not have to worry about the complicated situation going on with this. If you have brothers and sisters in 3rd and 4th grade, they are perhaps doing this kinds of shape of puzzle piece. So watch them if you want to get, you know, confused or smarter, up to you. So what we're going to do is we are just going to cut box shapes on ours. Now, if you struggle with cutting in a straight line, which I usually don't, but sometimes I do, then what you want to do is fold your drawing in half and crease it really well. And then we're gonna fold it in half again. And we're gonna crease it really well. Okay, then we're gonna unfold it. And it'll be harder to see on the front, but if you look at the back, we now have 3 lines that we can cut on, okay? Now, before we cut those lines, we want to create more lines. So we're actually gonna fold it in half this way. So we've been folding this way, now we're gonna fold it in half this way. Now, if you are gonna be doing this puzzle yourself and you're 5 or 6 years old, you might want to stop at 8 sections. But if you are a puzzle master and you just know that you can handle more than that, then you can go ahead and fold yours in half one more time. And that will give us, let's count. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we started with 8, and then when we folded it in half again, we got 8 on each side. So if we add 8 and 8 together, we'll have our total amount of puzzle pieces. So see if you can do that math for me. It's 16, very good. So if you fold yours like this, then you will have 16 pieces in your puzzle. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to cut on those straight lines that we made. So if you are someone that it isn't easy to cut straight lines, then you're gonna want to go pretty slow. Do these need to be perfect? No, they do not. But you wanna get pretty close, especially if you're gonna let someone else do your puzzle. So you wanna have nice craftsmanship and do a good job. So if you are doing it without the cardboard, then we'll just turn our paper and cut the other lines. If you're doing yours without cardboard and you're doing yours just on paper, then it's gonna be a little bit easier for you to cut. If you're doing yours on the cardboard, you might want some stronger scissors, or maybe to get a parent or a big sibling or someone else that you live with to help you. So see, our puzzle pieces are about that big. What's kind of nice about this little method that we've made is that our pieces are already getting kind of mixed up. There we go. All right, so if we flip those over, so now what you want to do is you want to mix them up. That way there's no cheating allowed. Okay, there we go. Okay, if you wanted to put it away right now, you could. You could just get them in a nice little stack. And if you have Ziplocs at your house, you could put these in a Ziploc bag and just write puzzle on it with your name. Or if you guys have Tupperware, I know at my house we don't have Ziploc bags. We just use Tupperware. So if you have Tupperware in your kitchen, you could put them in, or maybe an old toy box that doesn't have toys in it anymore, something like that. Just any kind of container that you can put these in so that they don't get lost, because it's pretty easy to lose small things. So now what we can do is we can spread these puppies out and look at the puzzle we made. So the fun thing is, you and I know what this puzzle should look like at the end because you guys saw it before I cut it up. But if I were to take this to my husband, he doesn't know what it looked like before we cut it up. So it might be harder for him to do. But looking at this, we can probably tell. So this color of purple is here, 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 and here. So we can probably put those pieces around there. They'll probably be next to each other. And then these ones all have that hot pink color. They kind of look like a strawberry when they're all cut up like this. It looks like it's gonna be a giant strawberry. This one has some green, and then this one has some green, just a tiny bit on that corner. We knew that these two weird egg-shaped things I drew were together, so we can put those over there. And then we know that these hearts were all next to each other, okay? So we can kind of get started on seeing where these things go. So you guys can watch me. I'm gonna try to put my puzzle back together. All right. I know this was somewhere over here, I think. Yeah, it was, because the egg-shaped things are with that one too. Okay, so I was wondering if it was gonna go this way or this way, but it looks like if we line them up right there, those pink spots right there match. So those go together, and then this one is gonna go right there. Nice. Okay, and then these pink ones will go together, but I'm not entirely sure. Oh, perfect, there we go. And that doesn't make sense, does it? That doesn't either, but this does. You guys can't see it, so I'll move it. Perfect. So we have these things so far. And then I have these stripes. I think the blue, so if the blue is in this corner, I think that the green was up somewhere. So I'm gonna put these pieces up here. Oh, those go together, I think. Yeah. And then the purple, I don't remember where the purple was. Oh, we have purple right here. See that? So it's good to pay attention to those things. So that might be somewhere over there, not sure. Purple. Okay, those, I think, yeah, those do go together. Nice. And that goes there. Okay. So I think it might be, I think it was like this. This puzzle might be kind of hard for somebody that didn't see it beforehand. Okay, so we have that right there. You know, guys, I'm second guessing myself because that has green right there. Oh, there we go. There's that. I'm honestly wondering if this is upside down right now. That doesn't work. Oh, there we go. And then I have one more that has purple right there. And these were already connected to it. Guys, I am making it upside down. How funny is that? I didn't do it on purpose. Okay, so if I'm accidentally doing it upside down, then this one would need to go right there. And then this one, wait, that's not right because we have some green that we need. That doesn't look right. There we go. Okay. Is it this? Yes. We have 4 pieces left. Okay, so we know that there's yellow that's gonna go up like that. So that one, yes, and then those greens line up. Ooh, hoo, hoo. I'm about to get it. Don't know why this was actually more hard than I thought it would be, but that's cool. Okay, and there's my puzzle. So you could do that with yourself or with a friend that you have at home, or your parents, anybody that you have living with you. Perfect. So there's the paper puzzle. And then this puzzle will work the same way. It's just on cardboard, so it's a little bit sturdier. We can't fold this one though. So that being said, let's do this. Okay, I'm gonna take a marker. And if you have a ruler, great. But if you don't, you can actually take a piece of paper and fold it in half. And that makes it kind of sturdy, and that can act as a straight edge. So what I'm gonna do is in the middle, and we know this is in the middle because this is a full-size piece of paper, is I'm gonna draw a line right there, and this is gonna help me know where to cut, okay? So that's in the middle, and then this is about in the middle. And that's about in the middle. All right. And then we're gonna go this way, and I'm gonna unfold my straight edge paper and fold it in half hot dog style. There we go. So this is about the middle. And then we want to go halfway in between that, unless you want to stick with an 8-piece puzzle. These ones will be easier to put back together because they're actually a picture of something. The non-objective one is just a bunch of shapes and colors and lines. So it's a little bit harder to piece those back together. But this one, we kind of know where a person's ears should be, and we kind of know where their nose should be. and all of those types of things. So now, once we have those lines, you can cut on those. And like I said, you might need someone's help cutting through your cardboard. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna flip these over. Then we want to mix them up. All right. These are pretty much all the same colors. They've got magenta color in her hair, kind of this peachy color, green and blue of the background. All right, so I know that this flower was somewhere down here, and then I know this is a flower stem, and I think that's our bottom right-hand corner. Well, these pieces make up the middle of her face. This is an ear that will go on this side, and then this looks like the other side of her glasses. Then we're missing an ear. Here it is. There we go. And then I think this one goes under there. Yes. That looks like the bottom of her cheek. Doesn't fit there. So we're gonna put it here. Perfect. And this has some hair. Huh. Don't know where this one's gonna go. This one has some of her mouth, so that will go right there. This one looks like it has the top of her head and maybe an eyebrow. Maybe. Oh yeah, there we go. That one has the top of her hair. And that one is this. Yes, that's it. All right. So then this one I think would go here, right? Because it's just the blue background. There's no hair or anything in it. And all three of these have hair in them. So her hair is thicker on this side. So I'm thinking yes. And then we have these two pieces. Oh, okay. That's her shirt. I was really confused about what that piece was. And there we go, our completed puzzle with our cardboard backing. So with this one, it's the same idea. You could put it in a Ziploc bag or in a Tupperware. What I love about these is that you can totally reuse them again and again, or like I said, give them to a friend. You could even use it for yourself for a little bit, and then once you're done with it, give it to somebody else. And then it's the gift that keeps on giving. All right, you guys, well, thank you. See you next time. Bye.